Welcome you to Messiah Revelation Ministry. We are a prophetic ministry. We are an end time ministry. Today, I'm going to talk about the prophecies relating to the scattered children of Jacob. And I'm tying those prophecies to the end times. So you can call it the Negro prophecies. The end time Negro prophecies, you can call them that. The children of Jacob are scattered over the world, and those who are scattered in the United States, they were called Negroes, quote unquote. And these prophecies that we are going to discuss relate to them. They are end time prophecies. So let's quickly look at those prophecies. The first one is in Genesis chapter 15, verses 13 to 14. In verse 13 of Genesis 15, the Lord had a covenant with Abraham and told Abraham three things. His seed will be strangers in a land, a strange land. His seed will serve those people in a strange land, and they will be afflicted. And the afflictions and captivity will go on for 400 years. And the Lord, in a covenant with Abraham, also promised him in Genesis chapter 15, verses 14, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. The Lord did not mention the name of that nation. He only said the seed of Abraham will serve a nation for 400 years. If you look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, the seed of Jacob will be sent to that nation by ships. The first ship of slaves entered Babylon, United States in 1619. If you add 400 years to it, it is 2019. And so a prophecy is lingering. The prophecy where the Lord promised Abraham that, and afterwards shall they come with substance. So a time is coming where the scattered of the children of Jacob, they will spoil the nations that scattered them, and the judgment on those nations are lingering. So we are in the end times. We are at the time that the Lord Elohim, the Most High, is going to judge the nation and the nations that afflicted the children of Jacob for 400 years. So this is an end time prophecy, and it has to be fulfilled. Let's look at another prophecy. That prophecy is related to the regathering of the scattered children of Judah. And here we see the prophet Isaiah talking about it in Isaiah chapter 11, verses 11 to 12. So a prophecy is lingering over the Negroes. A prophecy is lingering, is waiting to be fulfilled for the scattered of the children of Jacob. Whether from Cush in Ethiopia, from Egypt, or from the Caribbean nations, the islands of the sea. It's an end-time prophecy, the regathering of the children of Jacob who were kidnapped by way of ships and sent to all the four corners of the earth. The prophecy is coming to be fulfilled. It is a prophecy of regathering of the scattered children of Jacob. And the person who is going to lead the regathering is the root of Jesse, as prophesied in Isaiah chapter 11 verse 10. And the prophecy says, and in that day shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand as an ensign of his people. And which people is the prophet talking about? The scattered of the children of Judah. These are the people the prophet Isaiah is talking about. And so for those who are scattered, the children of Judah, a prophecy of your regathering is coming, as you can see in Isaiah chapter 11 verse 11 to 12. It's an end-time prophecy because it is tied up with the coming of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. It's an end-time prophecy. It has not been fulfilled. I don't care what they tell you regarding the so-called restoration of Israel in 1948, because this Isaiah prophecy is tied to the Lion of the tribe of Judah, who would be, or who would stand as an ensign of his people, the scattered of the children of Judah. Let's look at the other prophecy that is waiting to be fulfilled for those who are called Negroes, the outcasts, the dark-skinned people who are scattered over the world, from Cush to Cuba, from Barbados to Babylon. And let's look at what Jesus Christ himself said when in the book of Revelation he sent a message to the church in Philadelphia. Let's look at Revelation chapter 3 verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews. And Jesus said it again. He said, make them. I will make them. It means I will force them. I will command them. I will ask them to do what? Jesus is saying he will ask, he will command those who say they are Jews, but they are not, the synagogue of Satan. He will command them. The Lion of the tribe of Judah will command the synagogue of Satan to do what? Revelation chapter 3 verse 9. I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. So there are two types of Jews: the true Jews and those who are false Jews, who Jesus called the synagogue of Satan. And in the end times, the Messiah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, is saying that I will make them, the synagogue of Satan, to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. This prophecy is also repeated in the book of Isaiah. So let's look at what is happening in Isaiah chapter 49 verse 23. Isaiah 49:23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their feet towards the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. So this is a prophecy awaiting the Negroes. I'll call it the prophecy of restoration. And so the three prophecies are: one, the prophecy that God will avenge the captivity of Judah. And after 400 years of captivity, the Lord said he will visit the scattered of the children of Judah, and he will avenge them, and the nation that took them captive will be judged. He's talking about the nation and the nations that took the children of Judah into captivity. The second prophecy is about the regathering, which will come in the second time, where the Messiah will be an ensign of his people to lead the regathering, somebody greater than Moses. And so the regathering of the scattered of Judah is tied to a second coming event. It's tied to the second coming of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And the last prophecy, the most powerful one, is the prophecy where the Lord will restore his people. Whether you are talking about the Negroes in Chicago or the dark-skinned people in Kush, Ethiopia, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. And the prophet Isaiah is also saying that they shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth, and lick up the dust of their feet. In other words, they are coming to worship you and to serve you. This is the prophecy of restoration of the scattered children of Judah.